We interrupt our program to bring you a special broadcast.
Boom! Headshot!
Hey, it's Clay. Welcome to another League of Legends video. This time I wanted to do a why buy Morgana. Morgana is quite a champion. She's actually up on free week this week. And I've got some little bit of time this morning. Wanted to do another League of Legends video. This is actually a game I'd recently played. I want to say this was like the second game I played with Morgana. So definitely consider this to be very introductory, but I actually did surprisingly well this game, and I had quite a bit of success with her, and I felt like I kind of got into a bit of comfort with her mechanics. So I thought it'd be worth sharing. Morgana is usually played either as an AP mid or as a support. If she's going as a support, she's going to be relatively aggressive. She's going to offer a lot of CC, but not much in terms of like healing or peel. I guess like CC is kind of peel. Yeah, whatever. But I like to play her. I played her in the mid lane, and I think that's where I would most enjoy to play her in general. Giving a little bit of leash to my jungler Diana. Leashes are always nice and friendly. You want to be friendly to your neighborhood jungler just because you're going to want their ganks and their blue buff later, so just be friendly to your jungler. Even though I totally suck at jungling and hopefully will never be caught dead in the jungle, because like I said, I totally suck at it. But let's talk about Morgana. This is a great day to talk about Morgana. You know, it's raining like cats and dogs right now, and if you live in like Minnesota, you're getting like a foot of snow, and what is the day today? April 18th? That is absurd. But let's talk about Morgana. Let's get into this why buy. You're probably here for the not for the stories, but for the League of Legends gameplay. So Morgana, she is. Let's start with her Soul Siphon. This is her passive. It grants Spell Vamp, which is really handy. Having this sort of built-in sustain is so useful. It'll actually scale up as you scale her ultimate up to 20% at max rank. So 20% Spell Vamp is no joke. That is pretty awesome. And you can pretty much spam her spells pretty frequently. So it definitely is great. And oh wow, I totally just blanked and said earlier that she doesn't have a shield, and of course she has a shield, so derp. But we'll get back to that later. Sorry, getting distracted with my joy this morning. So yeah, her passive gives her Spell Vamp, so it's really handy. If you ever get low, just go ahead and spam your spells, and you'll gain some health back, which is very handy. Let's talk about her Q. This is her Dark Binding. This is probably her most, I would say, well, maybe not her most signature, but her most useful ability. It roots an enemy, so it's very similar to Ryze's W. It will actually, it's actually a very long, a 2-second root. That's pretty lengthy. It's a great form of CC. It also does magic damage. It has a 90% AP ratio with 300 base damage at max rank, up to a 3-second stun at max rank. So very powerful ability. This is definitely something that you want to be initiating fights with. You want to lock down your enemy, and it's the first part of your spell combo. So I like to take a point in Dark Binding first. It kind of depends, though. I think, you know, especially if you're going for something like an invade, or if you want to be aggressive, it's really handy to take 1 point in Dark Binding first. You definitely want to take a point early, because it's it has such high utility. Just getting that root is so useful. And it's also on a relatively short, well, I guess 11-second cooldown isn't fantastically short. So for that reason, I kind of like to build a little bit of cooldown reduction onto Morgana, just to get that down to like, I think with 40% CDR, 11 seconds, 40%, that's like 6 or 7 seconds. I mean, that's a lot. That's awesome. To get this type of root every 7 seconds or so, that's pretty fantastic. So Dark Binding, pretty sweet ability for sure. Then her W, Tormented Soil. This is that. I just threw it down right there. That is that blackened puddle of ooze of a squishy death. This is the ability that I max first, and I use mostly for farming and also AoE damage. Basically, it will do magic damage per second, and then will also debuff your opponents, having their magic resistance reduced. So it's a pretty stellar ability, especially in the team fight. You can just kind of spam it. It creates a very basic combo with your Q and your W. So basically, if you land your Q, then you will root them in place, then you throw your W down immediately on top of them, and you can take advantage. There, exactly, I did it right there. You can see I'm throwing my Q down onto Karthus, and then keeping them in place so that he just eats every second of that Tormented Soil. It has a very high mana cost, starting at 70, going up to 130, which I would say is relatively high. So you want to be a little bit cautious about spamming it in lane. I would say that, you know, it's your most effective farming tool once you get a little bit of mana built up, but can see I used it there on those back wave of minions, and it will actually kill them after about 3 ticks. So very, very efficient. I've only got 3 points in it. I only have 13 AP, so it just shows you how powerful it is. I actually started Flask and Pots, so very solid ability overall. Oh, I was going to say, I don't actually think I recall here. But this is probably your main farming tool and also your best source of AoE damage. You know, it's great for team. AoE damage is fantastic in team fights. So overall, very useful ability. You know, the magic debuff is definitely not something to be underestimated. You know, especially if you're playing her as a support, then you're also going to have an AP mid laner. Then you're going to want to combo your Tormented Soil with some of their abilities to make sure that you get the magic debuff for their they get more damage done. Also, if you have an AP top laner, like I believe in this game, Rumble is my AP top laner. Yes, he is. No, he's their top laner. Wow, total derp there. Who's my top laner? Zach? I think he does AP damage, so it works still for him. So it just helps anybody else in your team who's doing ability power damage. Also, Diana, my jungler, is doing AP damage, so it actually works quite well with my team. That magic debuff is not to be underestimated, although it's not probably the best part of this ability in general. Now, her Black Shield, this is probably her most signature ability. It is a really powerful magic shield, and basically it will shield for 5 seconds. The shield will absorb magic damage, and it will also prevent disable. So it's kind of like a spell shield in that regard, maybe like a little bit like a Sivir spell shield in the way that it will absorb a spell. So it's pretty impressive. One thing about it though is that I do not believe that it will actually absorb physical damage. So if you're like helping out an AD carry in lane, giving them the spell shield will help them stay safe from magic damage and spells, but not necessarily auto attacks from an enemy AD carry. So that's kind of something to keep in mind. Yeah, it's a good ability though. It definitely is very useful. I usually throw this ability on kind of any time that I'm getting ganked. That's kind of my primary use for it, at least at this stage of the game. If I'm getting ganked, then it will prevent disable so I can get away. That's pretty much the primary way that I would use it. Also, if I'm going to be aggressive and I'm going to be taking a lot of magic damage from Karthus, I'll usually throw it on, and there's that wonderful QE combo. But overall, it's a very strong spell. This is what allows Morgana to be in a support. She's got the CC with her Q, and then she's got this shield to kind of help your AD carry from getting disabled in any way. So it's a pretty solid ability overall. And I would say the strongest part of it is the prevention of disable. Preventing magic damage is nice, but I wouldn't say that's necessarily the biggest draw about it. So then, lastly, her ultimate, Soul Shackle. This is actually a pretty interesting ultimate. Basically, it will latch Morgana onto nearby enemy champions as Karthus uses his ulti and picks up a kill on Tarek. That's a little bit sour. It actually looks like I'm going to go ahead and roam bottom. I'm pinging. Looks like I'm going to come down and see if I can actually do any damage. But I wonder if I actually will use my ultimate. Basically, you latch on to the enemy and you will do Magic Second. If you continue to latch on for a period of time, you will actually stun them. So let's see if I can get a... Oh, nice. Boom, right there. Is she going to go down? Are you serious? Okay, right there, I did actually use my ulti. So let's go ahead and back that up, and I'll walk through what actually happened here. This is pretty wild. So my whole purpose right here is to get Tristana. I don't really care about Alistar. I care about Tristana because she's the damage threat, and she's also the one that I want to prevent from getting fed because she's got 4 kills. Let me just take a look at this score. 402, 67 to 22, 0-3. So Ashe is way behind. Tristana is absolutely stomping all over Ashe. So I need to do something to prevent her from getting more and more fed. So my target is to get my Q down onto Tristana, and then hopefully my W, and hopefully that will take her out. So watch this. Right here, she's in position. There's the Q, but it actually hits as she gets in range. Then I pop my W and my ulti. Right there, you can see that pink line, and that eventually gets the kill. So... Again, just to talk about my ulti, I used it very briefly there, but it actually worked to get the kill. Basically, it will latch onto an enemy, it will deal magic damage per second, and it will slow them. If they continue to be latched for 3 seconds, they will be stunned. I actually didn't know Master Yi was there, so this is pretty risky. I wonder if I actually recall. Interesting. I wonder why Master Yi is running away from Turret. Doesn't really make sense to me. Oh, there's Ashe. That's probably why. Is he gonna get away? I'm just so fascinated with this right now. This is such a strange. And Alistair's just chilling. Like, what is happening? Oh, he DC'd. That would explain it. Come on, Ash. Do her. Arrow. Oh. What a strange game. Let's just keep going. Very strange. Very, very strange. So anyways, the ultimate. This is the nice thing about it is it actually is capable of latching onto all 5 members of the enemy team if they're close enough. So it's very powerful. It does a lot of damage. The slow and the stun are extremely powerful. But I would say that the biggest problem about this ability is that it requires you to get into range. It has a 600 range, and you have to be in range to cast it. So I would say in that regard, it is a little bit difficult to use because often as an AP mid, you are relatively squishy, and you do not want to be getting into the middle of team fights. You want to be staying safe, but this ability kind of requires that you get into the middle of it, but we can fix that with the Zhonya's Hourglass, which is something that I will talk about later when I get to itemization. So basically with this ability, you want to use it for its utility. It's got a nice slow, it's got a nice stun, but then it will also do fantastic damage. And so you want to use it when you're in a position where the enemy cannot break away, because if the enemy breaks the chains, then they don't get stunned and they don't continue to take the damage. So you want to time it so that you can make sure that you utilize all of its elements, including the stun. So those are her abilities. She's got a really nice, interesting mix of abilities. I would say that she... Ooh, nice Q there onto Karthus, but not able to follow up with a W. Specifically, her QW combo is very straightforward, but also very powerful. They synergize very well. Also, even throwing your ulti on top of that, you know, you get the initial root from your Q, you move into position, throw the W on top of them, and then you land your ulti, and then you continue to kite them, and the ulti will eventually stun them to the point where you're doing so darn much damage, then maybe your Q and your W comes off cooldown, and you just absolutely derp their face in. That's kind of the basic spell combo with Morgana. She provides a lot of really interesting benefits to her team, specifically with, you know, she's got great CC. Any time that, you know, a member of your team has CC, that's always benefiting your team. With her Q, she has a spell shield, which can be really, really handy, specifically for the disable prevention. And then her ulti is a really nice AoE teamfight ability. So, alright, so let's talk a little bit about itemization build with Morgana. Let's see, what am I going for? First, I went for a Rod of Ages. The really nice thing about Rod of Ages is that it gives you health and mana and ability power. I would say all 3 of those things are something that Morgana wants and needs. You know, the mana is really nice because, like I said, her W is her main farming tool, and that is relatively mana intensive. So you need a little bit extra mana to help you farm. And the health is also really useful. Like I said, with her ulti, that's going to require that you get up and close and personal a little bit. You know, she's not like a poke mage like someone like... oh, that was a horrible cue right there. Yikes, I'm going to pretend like that didn't happen and like I'm the man. But she's not like a poke mage like a Nidalee or a Lux, somebody like that. She's a lot more of a get up in your face, kind of like Karthus or Rise, something like that. You know, so Rod of Ages works well on her. And watch this engagement. This was very, very strange. I saw Tristana. I whiff on my Q, throw it on my W, don't get any damage. There's my ulti. You can see I'm trying to tether, and it was broken. I don't think I got anybody stunned. And oh my derp! Look at this. Is he even gonna get this kill? No. Wait, he did. He did actually get the kill on a Master Yi, but then they're gonna clean him up from his passive. And ooh, and look at this too. And oh my goodness, Ash whips the arrow. Tarek is shredded. So we went 4 for 1 there. That was a really bad team fight. Yikes. Very, very bad. I missed my Q. So if I would have landed my Q on a Tristana, I really think things could have gone differently. But alas, I did not. We're probably going to lose this tower as well. We've got a big minion wave here. And overall, things are looking not so good for our team. So after that bit of derp right there, let's go ahead and talk some more about the itemization. Rod of Ages is a good start. Now, I went for an Amplifying Tome because one of the core items on Morgana, especially as like a second or third item, is Zhonya's Hourglass. Zhonya's is absolutely perfect on Morgana, and the reason why I say this is, the reason I was actually mostly inspired to play Morgana was partly because she was up on Free Week, but also because I saw Nijaki playing Morgana in the LCS for Team Curse, and he pulled off one of the sickest stunts I've ever seen in my life in League of Legends. He was absolutely awesome. Basically, there was this crazy team fight where they were running through river, and he was running away. Everything looked really dire, and so All of a sudden, though, when his team kind of regrouped, he flashed right into the middle of the enemy team, popped his ulti, and then immediately hit Zhonya's. And so his ultimate is continuing to go off even though he's in his shiny gold cocoon of protection. And he's ulting, he's slowing, and eventually stunning all 5 members of the enemy team and continuing that magic damage. And that stun, I mean, think about it. If you get a 5-man stun, that's like an Amumu ultimate. Just a complete game changer, allowing his team to get in there and mop up, and it really turned the game around for them. So basically what you want to do is you're moving into this later part of the game is you want to build Zhonya's, and then anytime there's a team fight, you want to get right in the middle of the enemy team, pop your ulti, and then use the Zhonya's to keep yourself alive. So, ooh, look at this. Nice Q, W off onto... Oh, nice! Oh, how did she get away? Goodness gracious, is this real? I mean, that was such beautiful play there from my team. And Tristana gets away with 100 health. Oh, that's annoying. But we did end up getting a dragon for it. Tristana going for a very greedy solo dragon, even though we had it warded. That was very, very not smart by her, I would say. But we would have gotten that kill. Just farming out this mid lane. But like I said, with items, you know, other core items are going to be, you know, Rabadon's Void Staff, maybe even a Deathfire Grasp would be fairly useful. You know, because you get a little bit of health, but most of your survivability comes from your Zhonya's. And then other than that, you want to, he's getting a nice Q off on the Rumble to try to keep him away. And let's see here, we got a nice team fight going. Diana's diving in. And let's see here, do I even have, my ultimate is not on cooldown, so I'm going to just continue to try Qs and Ws. Going to get a kill there onto a main man, Karthus. Double kill there onto Master Yi, but I'm in trouble. Where's my Q? There's the W, and I'm just dead. There's nothing I can do, so triple kill there for Trist. Yeesh. So we have 1 alive, they have 2 alive, so 4 for 3. So I don't know. Tristan is just getting so beefy. I mean, look at this: 8, 2, and 6, 122 CS. She already has a BF sword on top of her Bloodthirster and Berserker's Greaves. So trouble in this game. But I've managed to get myself fairly fed and far ahead of Karthus at least. So here we go, team fight round 2. Let's see, landing a nice QW there onto Karthus, but it's not going to help him. He's going to go down. My ulti is back up, but I'm just standing in this Karthus, just getting totally roasted. So there goes Tristana. Watch this. Q, W, auto attack, and she's going to go down. Nice job picking up that kill onto Trist. She's definitely going to be the main target there. Now we're kind of turning on to Alistair, waiting for... There's the Q, W. Nice. But not enough. Ooh, Master Yi's in putting the pain. Can I get another Q? Can I get any more abilities? My Q's off cooldown. There's a Q, there's a W, and boom, there goes Master Yi. So another QW combo. That's your basic ability. That's why you want to build some CDR. I actually went for CDR boots in this game. I mean, I think Sork shoes would probably be the standard, but I really like building a little bit of CDR on my mages, and I sometimes have a little bit of a challenge getting the blue buff consistently, so I have to do it with items. So items like CDR boots and Deathfire Grasp are usually pretty core on some of my mage builds. That's just kind of my playstyle. I know that it hinders my raw damage output, but I mean, just think about that last team fight. It got a little bit drawn out, and just think about how many QWs. I got one on Trist, I got one onto Alistair, and I got one onto Master Yi. So I think my CDR definitely helped there. You know, I've got my maxed out Q and W and putting now points into my ulti, and then lastly my E. So overall, I think that is going to pay off for me. So just going to head up here, farm out this lane, watch how quickly those minions fall to my W. That's pretty sweet. But Ash, she wants to get some CS, even though she totally derped her way around the first part of the game. And she's getting a Tear of the Goddess. Probably going to build into a Man Immune, which is not my build of choice on Ash. But I realize that there's room for disagreement, so I'm just going to let her be. But she's getting totally raffle stomped by Trist. That is not good. But wow, look at that big wave there. They're all dying to my W there. That's really... just shows you the power of Morgana. I mean, having an AoE farming ability. I'm trying to pick up a blue buff here, and watch this. Are you serious, Ash? Are you serious? You're gonna stand here and you're gonna take that? Oh, Ash. I had some words for her in chat. I remember I was a little bit perturbed that she was going to derp her way around the beginning part of this game, then steal my blue buff. That's just not right. Gonna totally whiff on a Q there, but hey, you know what? We gotta live and learn. We gotta forgive. And keep going with this game, because we got a lot of work to do. Tristana's getting really fed, and I gotta do my best to try to keep my team in this game. So we're totally whiffed on the Q there. I'm going to end up helping Ash get the kill, but missing, just missing all of my abilities here, and Ashley's gonna go down. I need to land a Q. There we go, finally, Q. Can I get a W? There's the W. And, oh, he's so weak. Just one more Q. Come on. Do not get away, Karthus. Do not get away. Oh, he is gonna get away. Derped on my Q. Gotta land a W just for some harassment, but, oh, that stings. I had that kill in the bag, but I derped my Q like 2 or 3 times. It's not cool, but just continuing to farm with my W, getting my CS up. Almost have as much CS as Tristana, which is good, but she's got a lot of kills, so. Oh, did I just get a kill there? What the world? Oh, it looks like I just got a random Q on Master Yi. Just kind of a kill steal there. Whoopsie daisy. Sorry, team. You know, at this point, you know, we need to be fighting together as a team. We need to be trying to catch Tristana out because she is going to become an absolute monster. She's already got her Bloodthirster Infinity Edge combo done, and I'm going to try to get a Q. Oh, another missed Q. I don't know why I'm showing this game because my Qs have been horrible in the last couple of minutes. But still, ooh, there's a nice Q and a nice W there on a Trist. Getting even a little bit of damage down on her is nice because we do not want her to be continuing to get fed and going beast mode. I have completed my Zhonyas, which is really nice. At this point, I'm probably going to go straight into a Rabadon's Death Cap. I also, somewhere along the line, picked up a Doran's Ring just to give myself a little bit extra mana regen and AP. Doran's Rings are really nice. Overall, I think Doran's items are pretty solid, just especially with the importance of the mid-game. Where's the Q? Oh, my goodness gracious. Trist, you are a sneaky little devil. She has been avoiding my Qs like crazy lately, but just gonna try to stick with my team, use my W to farm out a little bit, trying to lock that golem into the pool of Black Death. And here, now, just kind of thinking if maybe we can catch these guys out a little bit. I think that would be nice, but I'm not really sure anything's gonna happen. Let's kind of speed things up a little bit here. Okay, we do end up catching Trist out, getting a nice chain stun, and oh my gosh, she's getting away. But Karthus gets like totally insta-give there, and I'm chasing. I want Trist, and I'm gonna get her. So I think I actually used my ulti right there, and I'm not ashamed. I'm not concerned. Actually, I want to double check, see if I did use my ultimate. Where am I at? Morgana. Oh no, I already used my ulti, but I think I get a Q. Yep, I did actually. I think I killed her with. Was this just an auto attack? I'm not even sure. That's weird. If I ended up picking up the kill, that's good. So let me see there. Nice Q there through the wall to secure the kill onto the Rumblemeister, who probably would have gotten the kill onto my Ashe. So I think that was a really well played series right there. I got a couple of nice Qs. You know, really landing those Qs is so essential to Morgana. You know, she is skill shot based. Her Q and her W are not targeted abilities, as it looks like Master Yi is gonna rain. Like what are you guys doing? Nice stun, but he's just going to come off this and Q you guys, and you're both going to die. Oh, sad day, sad day, sad day when Master Yi is getting lots of kills. But hey, kudos to him. Well played. That was nice. Just going back to buy. Let's see here what I pick up next. Looks like my needlessly large rod. I was waiting for a little bit of gold there. Definitely going into a Rabadon. Just going to continue to farm with my W. But, you know, at this point, it's all about team fighting, and it's all about you getting my Q, you getting my ultimate, and the Zhonyas. I really want to show that off. I want to show that move off. I hope I do it soon. I want to, you know, get in the middle of that team fight, pop my ulti, and get that group stun going. So, just kind of derping around in the mid lane, and let's see if we can get anybody caught out. I'm just kind of trying to be a little bit sneaky here. My thought process, again, is to land a Q, throw down the W, ulti into the middle of them, and use my Zhonyas to keep myself alive, even if we're tower diving. You know, because Zhonyas is a pretty powerful item. There's a nice Q on a Trist W. Getting in there, ulting, there's the Zhonyas. There I am right there in the middle, able to get Master Yi, getting Trist really, really low. And there's a nice W. Oh, Trist goes down, Karthus goes down, and I'm getting assists onto the one with Trist, but now with Karthus. But overall, that was a really fantastic team fight. Let's watch that one more time. I actually want to show you, because this was what I'm talking about, how getting in the middle of this team fight, landing my Zhonya. So it's initiated by getting a nice Q right there. Boom. Pause it right here. You can see how, look at where my team is at. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, and Diana's down here. So Diana's out of position, but they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and Alistair's back at base. So we've got 5 in this vicinity, you know, because these guys are kind of in the same position. So right here, we've got 4 on 3, and I initiated onto Tristana. She is their squishiest target. We want to catch her out of position. My thought process here is that if I can land my Q, throw my W to chunk her down, if we can get Ashe to start deepsing, getting that DPS down, we can get Zac bouncing around, we can get Taric stunning, and then I'm going to get in the middle, use my ult, and pop my Zhonyas. So let's watch it out. There I am. Yeah, there I am, right in the middle, popping my Zhonyas, and actually Triss gets away. But I do pick up the kill on Master Yi, so that was pretty unlucky. Karthus actually returned Zhonyas. That was pretty funny. They were just kind of Zhonyasing each other, and he eventually does go down. Actually, I think he used his ulti too soon. If you look at how low we are now, I think if he would have just waited another split second, he would have managed to get a lot more kills. But overall, I think that just shows you the strategy that I'm going for there. That you want to take it full advantage of your Zhonyas, use that invincibility to its fullest extent, and get in the middle of your team so your ulti can hopefully stun multiple members. Right there, I got Master Yi. I scared Triss out of the fight, pretty much zoned her. You know, she rocket jumped away with just a sliver of health. I mean, she needed to if she wanted to stay alive. So, really good job on my team. We got to get out here, though, because their entire team is back up. They're going to be coming for my blood. Even though my blood is probably pretty spoiled because I'm pretty evil. A little bit of random trivia here. Morgana, I believe, is a sibling of Kayle. You know, Kayle is this wonderful justice. You know, she's so pure and holy, and then Morgana is just this evil, wretched, you know, evil witch. So very interesting contrast there, and a little bit of a random tidbit here. If you guys can name all of the siblings in League of Legends of the summoners, or of the champions, that would be pretty sweet. So go ahead and leave that comment down below. But anyways, we got another team fight, because I do know the answer. So if anybody could get it right, I will let you know in chat. Oh man, there's the Zhonyas again, and my ulti. There we go, getting a nice kill, QW, and she's going to go down. Wait for it, boom, double kill. Really, really nice job there. Let's watch that one more time. I know that we've been in a lot of replays, but I want to make sure that we catch this, because these are some finer points with Morgana, and this was something that I picked from Jackie, and it's a little bit technical. So, I see that we've got a lot of team fights here. I'm kind of alone, but I want to make this happen. I'm going to land a Q. There's my ulti. There's my Zhonyas. Then there's the QW. And now, finally, Master Yi is going to go down to Ashe. So that was really, really well played by Ashe and Isaac. Unfortunately, gave his life, but he gave it for the good of the cause. I'm just going to push this tower and then go back because it's dangerous. Let's see here. Finally picked up my Rabadon's Death Cap, picking up a Blasting Wand. I'm not actually 100% sure what I plan to build that into. Only time will tell. Perhaps a Deathfire Grasp, but I don't actually even remember if a Blasting Wand builds into a Deathfire Grasp. But again, we will see. Just getting that little bit extra AP can never hurt. Up to 546, so I'm starting to get dangerous. Gonna try to farm this blue buff. I'm like totally derped there. You want to throw it on your Q first, and then your W to lock that blue golem in my pool of blood of death, bubbling death. But we're just gonna be pushing mid, really trying to make some stuff happen. Rumble's gonna ulti here onto our team, but he's gonna end up getting in trouble. And oh, look at that double Zhonyas there between Karthus and I. That is so hilarious. I do have to end up getting a kill, but I am gonna end up going down. That was so funny. As you can see, Tristana is just really scary at this point. I mean, she's just murdering every single person. And why, team, why? Zac, you probably should have just ran away, bro, because you're going to die here. Trist with the quad. That is scary, scary stuff right there. But that's the ace. We went, I think actually Alistair was AFK, so that was I guess we'll just consider it a 3 for 5. So definitely not a good trade. Tristana is going to be an absolute monster sieging these towers with her Q. She can down these things so fast with that 90% attack speed bonus. But, oh, it looks like I did turn into a Void Staff. So I said that earlier, Void Staff is pretty core. Even just taking a look at, let's see if they have much MR on the enemy team. Looks like Karthus does have MR with his Abyssal Scepter, so that was a good choice. There's some MR from Rumble. Alistair has the Spirit of Saj, but he is AFK. There's a little bit of MR for the Guardian Angel, and a little bit of health. I don't think Yi has any, but the rest of the members have some MR, so I want to make sure that I am countering that with a Void Staff. So again, just the same thing applies. I got my Zhonya countdown back up, my ulti is back up. I'm going to be looking to land that combo, landing a Q to initiate, throwing a W on top of it, getting in the middle of the team, popping my ulti, and then hitting a Zhonya's. That's pretty much the sequence of abilities right now. Going to pick up a free dragon here. Thank you very much. Waiting for my team to group up mid. Come on, team. Come on, Zach. We need you. We need your big bouncing craziness. So I totally whipped on a Q there, but landed a W. Waiting for my spells to come off cooldown. He's going to pop his Zhonya's very interestingly. I'm going to throw a Q. Where's the Q? I think there was the Q, and there was the W, and it head down picking up the kill, but Zach's going to go down. But here's Master Yi, and he's going to go down. Double kill for me. Now we're looking for Trist. Where's Trist? We see Trist here in these bottom brushes. I think we have a ward here. So I'm actually pinging this like crazy. Really nice arrow by Ashe, throwing down a Q to lock her down, and then she goes down. So fantastic double initiate there between Ashe and myself. Getting the Q-W combo, but I cannot believe that Tristana might actually get away. There's a nice stun, and she is dead, even though barrier. There's the Q to get the kill. So finally we're able to kill Tristana in a team fight, even though she is fed out of her mind. But thankfully, I'm pretty strong too, so definitely stronger than Karthus. I was definitely able to get ahead of him this game, you know, they do have one AFK, which stinks, but you know, what I do like about this game as far as Morgana is I think it shows you, you know, a really effective comboing of her skills can be so devastating. I mean, when you land the Q, when you land the W, it can be so powerful. I'm gonna pick up this blue buff here. Again, derping on these golems, taking me forever to kill this guy. Are you serious? I'm gonna finally recall, and let's see what I pick up. Looks like another needlessly large rod. Might turn that into... There's finally, I think, is coming the Deathfire Grasp. Just going for pretty much raw damage right now, because I'm using the Zhonya's to keep myself alive, and the Rod of Ages gives me a little bit of health. But really, I just want to do damage. My team needs me to carry, because Ashe is doing pretty well. She's kind of come back in terms of getting a solid build going, but... let's see here if I can engage. I see Rumble kind of flanking him from behind, and we kind of leave Zach to just kind of 1v5. Sorry, Zach, but you got this, bro. Actually, no, you don't. You are dead. But there we go. There's a nice Q there onto Master Yi, but he's not going to be able to heal through that. Ashe just kind of derps on an arrow there, but oh, I do end up going down, getting shot down by Trist. And this Trist is so scary. Ashe, you're in trouble. You are in deep trouble, my friend. Oh, she actually gets saved by a failed Tristana ulti there. If Tristana would have just auto-attacked her, she would have definitely won that little fight, but that is what it is. Sometimes people make them mistakes. But, okay, so I'm back up. Slow it down.
Shut down.
Whoa, what just happened there? We want to watch that. That was wild. What in the world just happened? So it looks like Trist is just face-checking this tower, and she gets slowed by Ashe. Ashe is actually doing a ton of damage, almost equal amount of damage. Let's see if there's a slow, and Zach's going to be coming in. Tristana, what are you doing out here all by yourself? There's a slow, continued perma-slow, and Ashe gets the shutdown goal. Good job by Ashe. Well played. Yeah, that was pretty solid. So here we are, just going to be picking up another kill on Karthus there. I'm just going to keep going, though, because... this game is starting to get into... we're actually down by gold, but so much of that gold is invested in Tristana that they really don't have any other threats. Rumble is not a threat. Karthus is not a real big threat. So it's all just about us getting a good team fight going, because we have a pretty strong team comp. We've got a lot of CC, you know, tons of CC between myself, Tarek, and Ashe. As we're getting Rumble caught out there, a really nice QW combo for myself. And overall, our team fighting is really nice. You know, Master Yi is not very used. There's a nice Q to pick up the kill onto Karthus. He's going to throw out his ulti for no real good reason. I've got some spell vamp, so I'll probably be able to get that back with a nice W onto some creeps. But, you know, think about their team comp. You know, Master Yi's not going to do much. Without real front line, they're going to be in trouble. They're going to be hard-pressed to... Oh, man, we missed that. Ashe missed her arrow, and I missed my Q onto Trist. She's so slippery in this game. But, you know, if I do land that Q, it's probably GG for her. Her day will get totally ruined by my Q. And there's some slows. There's a W. Nice stun by Tarek. Really great stun by Tarek to chain it into my my W. That was really great. And there, finally, Diana picks up the kill. And this is definitely... We're just going to be sieging this tower. Master Yi's in a world of hurt. There's nothing we can do. And then I believe the enemy team actually surrendered. So, too bad they had an AFK. Sorry. I know that AFK is always kind of... makes the win a little bit useless, but what I really wanted to point out in this game was Morgana's just, I mean, look at that, 16, 4, and 16. I had my hand in so many of these team fights, Actually, Tarek had even more, but was able to just be really effective using that QW to lock him down, keep him in my pool, and then comboing my ulti with the Zhonya's Hourglass is just extremely effective. So yeah, I hope that this is pretty fun stuff for you guys. If you're considering Morgana, I definitely recommend her. You know, that Zhonya stuff is actually really fun. It's really cool to get in the middle and cause so much damage and know that you're safe. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. And don't forget to answer who are the siblings in League of Legends. Perhaps I'll cover that in another video. So hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you soon.